The House has passed a landmark bill that could lead to a ban on TikTok.
That's if the social media platform owned by a Chinese firm doesn't sell its stake within a year. But don't expect the super popular app to disappear anytime soon. TikTok has become controversial for both Democrats and Republicans who voiced national security concerns about the app's owner, ByteDance.
Today's measure, though, passed overwhelmingly by a 360 to 58 vote. Sarah Welch live in our news center tonight with more on the legislation and reaction to it. Sarah.
Hi, Rick. Good evening. Well, House lawmakers working as Saturday passing the measure as part of a larger national security bill. The pressure now on in the Senate to do the same. The advancement of this measure has people expressing strong opinions about this controversial app.
And the nays are 58.
The House passed the foreign aid bill. In it, a measure that would force TikTok to be sold or face a U.S. ban. Some lawmakers stand firm the app is a national security threat by targeting American users' data.
This app is a spy balloon in Americans' phones. It is a modern-day Trojan horse of the CCP.
Some 170 million Americans use the popular app. Earlier this year, the House passed a similar version that would force the sale of TikTok by its Chinese owner ByteDance. Under that bill, the company would have 6 months to divest or face a ban. That timeline has now been extended to 9 months, with an additional extension if a sale is in the works.
So here's the day in a life.
Content creators who earn a living off TikTok have voiced strong opposition to an outright ban.
If it were to be banned in the U.S., it would affect my business by 50%.
It would affect my pockets, but I do believe that it would push me to have to find new ways to replace that income.
TikTok has spent millions on advertising and lobbying to stop the legislation from passing, and ByteDance denies giving any user data to the Chinese Communist government. Opponents of this legislation think it could limit the rights of Americans.
Some of us are concerned that there are First Amendment implications here. Americans have the right to view information.
Elon Musk posted on X saying a ban would be contrary to freedom of speech and expression, and it's not what America stands for. Supporters say this measure is not an act of censorship, but a safeguard for citizens. If Congress passes the measure, President Biden has said he would sign it.
Just to be very clear, it is not a ban, it is a divestment. It would ensure that ownership of these apps wouldn't be in the hands of those who can exploit them and to do us harm.
And tonight, reports are that TikTok is preparing to remove a key executive responsible for convincing the U.S. government that the company was doing enough to stave off national security concerns about its connections to China. The Senate is expected to take up the vote on this issue on Tuesday. Rick and Karine, back to you.